Ooh, ooh, ooh. Check this out.
You're watching the Dean Show, and this is the mailbag. This is where we take your calls, we take your questions, so any of you wanted to call in. And for future reference, when it's playing as a recording, you won't see the phone number on the screen. And we'll have... Hold on, okay. Hold on. There we go. Assalamu alaikum. Yes. Yes, this is the Dean Show. Go ahead. This is Yusuf Estes. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, but ask, you have a question, okay? Alrighty then. We'll do that right now. Keep your TV on, and we'll. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Question. They called in and they're asking us about the subject of how do you prove there's God, and how do you overcome the question when somebody asks you that where did everything come from, and what about the Big Bang, that the universe is coming from a Big Bang, and why don't we just accept that instead of coming up with this creation business? Okay, one of the ways I like to explain it to our students is like this. It's pretty simple. First and foremost, if they're not Muslim, I always remind them that we say, thank you for asking me about my religion, refer to the Quran and the teachings of Muhammad, and make sure they understand that this is not something you're going to make up on the spot. Okay. The next thing, though, is to ask them, what would happen if I take a water glass and I walk out to the pavement and I drop it? And it'll shatter into many pieces, splintered and break, and it'll just be destroyed, glass everywhere. I say, what will happen if I bring another glass and drop it? They said, the same thing. I said, will it be exactly the same? They said, no, it'll be different every time, but it will always be shattered. All right. Now, another thing, when you talk about something just blowing up, we talk about that there was a mass that just blew up, and everything came out of that. Just a big bang is what they refer to, a big bang, a blowing up. Now, we know full well about things blowing up. In fact, they are attributing all the blowings up to the Muslims in the world, aren't they? But consider this. Well, you've seen it, and I've seen it on television. It's a horrible thing. It's never beautiful, is it? Is it? No, the only thing that comes out of explosions is chaos. When there is this random blowing up or the random dropping of this glass on the pavement, you'll get mess. You don't ever get order. You don't have order that comes out of chaos. Never, ever. It doesn't happen that way. So how would it be if a tornado went through a junkyard, a salvage yard, and picked all this metal up, the cars and old refrigerators, and threw them up into the air, spun them around, and then suddenly dropped them down, and it turns out that all of it was compacted together and made a brand new Mercedes with the motor running. A brand new automobile and the motor running. Would you accept that? You said, this is crazy. This is wilder than a Steven Spielberg sci-fi movie. You're right. It is. Yet when you look to the universe, what do you see? What do you see? You see these spheres going in elliptical orbits. The sun in an orbit. The planets around the sun in orbits. The moons going around the planets. They're in orbits too. And how is that? How does this come about? Stop and think about it. Is it possible that this kind of order comes from an explosion? Without a design, without a plan? And when you look to the microscope, you look at these molecules, and you know these also are what? These are round orbs. And the theory of the atom is the same thing, that you have a proton, an electron, a neutron, and these are also spheres going in orbits around other spheres. So what we find under the microscope, we find in the telescope as well. And who is it that designed this? How is this plan all coming together? And a molecule of protein could not be produced by accident if you took all the elements in the universe and slammed them together for billions and billions and billions of times. They would never, ever form the first molecule of protein. And protein is the essence of life itself. We know that all life came out of water. And that's what it says in the Quran 1,400 years ago. All life is brought out of water. Allah said that He brought life out of water. Go check it out. Go to scienceislam.com. Prove it for yourself. Okay, let's go back to the show. Already in progress. You're watching The Dean Show.